Phil started training with us a few years ago. But one thing that we found out pretty quickly was that Phil was a pretty talented kid, and we wanted to get him into the competitive arena pretty quickly because of his talents and his hard work ethic. His fourth fight, he fought somebody who had 80 fights, and he beat the guy. So Phil grew pretty quickly in our program. The Last Chance Qualifier for the Olympic trials is pretty much the biggest tournament in the country every 4 years. I mean, you get the top guys from all over the country, and we really wanted to test them out in one of these national tournaments.
Erik and Randy actually came up to me in the gym and they asked me if I was interested in doing it, and right away I said yes, but after I did say yes, they did warn me that it was not going to be an easy time getting ready for it.
To get Phil ready for the tournament, we really stepped up this training. Some of the stuff that we went through was just crazy. I mean, the kid trained like an animal.
We've been training 2 times a day, train, and then I go to work, come back, and really it's not even the training that's the worst part, it's going to work. I would love to if I could just train, that would be perfect for me.
I work a lot with the kid. You know, not only do I pull mitts for him or run him through the strength and conditioning, I spar the kid. We work out together, we run together. We spend a lot of time together. I know going into this big tournament, he's a little bit nervous. He may even be doubting himself that he's ready, and that's one of the main reasons that we're putting him in it.
It's a pretty stressful situation, just because you're thinking about everything that everyone's putting into it, not just yourself. It added a little bit more pressure. I know I probably shouldn't really be worried about that kind of thing, but that's always in the back of my mind. I guess it's just how I am.
You know, going into this tournament, we really wanted to test our program out, to test Phil out, see where we were at. It's a test, but also I'd like to win it. You know, it's something that I know Phil can do. I know he's worked hard to get to this point, and he's skilled and talented enough to do it.
The elite boxers in the country are the only ones that make it to the Last Chance Qualifiers, or that do well in it. So, I mean, it's just not your average boxer is going to go out here and perform well or do well. You got to be at a certain level, and we're pretty confident Phil's at that level.
Everything's done, you know, the training's over, my weight's good. Now it's just pretty much get down there and fight.
He put the time in, he put the training in, and the camp went well as far as the camp getting ready for this. Now we're headed off to Cincinnati to make it happen. When you first get there, it starts to sink in the size of this tournament. This place is jammed.
Chaos, man. I mean, we get to a room, there's 384 boxers, plus their corners and their trainers, and whoever else they bring with them.
The best way I could describe it is like cattle herding. You know, just herd them into the elevators, herd them into the registration, herd them into weigh-ins. Everything is like multiples and multiples of people.
That kind of stuff makes me a little more nervous, just because there's so many people around. You know, I really didn't know what was going on too much, other than they were getting ready to do the draw for the brackets.
And just in Phil's division alone, there was 51 competitors in his weight class.
I just looked around at everyone, you know. I noticed that everyone was pretty relaxed. No one seemed to be nervous. It was pretty shocking, really, because it was almost like they've been to something like this before. Just thinking about 50 guys, that's quite a bit of fighting that you're going to have to do to win the whole thing. And it turns out, thinking about 50 guys and actually seeing 50 guys at the weigh-in, are a pretty big difference.
I mean, you had the number 1, number 2, and number 3 guy at the Nationals there in Phil's weight class. That's just 3 of the guys of the 50. I mean, top guys.
Sunday night, the bracket comes out online, and we find out that Phil's not fighting Monday. He's not going to fight till Tuesday. So we have we have a whole day plus most of the day on Tuesday to wait before he boxes.
He's basically going to be sitting around thinking about how big this tournament is, how awesome everybody in here is, and what he's got to do all over again. And he's got to just wait one more day.
My mind goes a little crazy, so I was just thinking about everything, really, how the fight could go, or you know, what could happen, good and bad, which can drive someone pretty crazy.
You know, knowing Phil personally the way I do as his coach and trainer, I know downtime's probably not the best thing for him. So we try to keep him busy with workouts, getting up early, going for runs, hitting the treadmill, hitting mitts.
It's tough when really you only have to train a couple hours a day, and the rest of the day you have to sit and think about your training or your matches coming up, you know, and things along those lines. So we find out Phil's opponent for the next day is Kevin Newman. Kevin Newman's a fighter from the Mayweather camp. We took a look at some of the footage that we could find on Kevin on the internet, some of his boxing matches, some of his training sessions, and this is a good matchup for us. Coming from the Mayweather camp, he's going to be schooled. He's going to have some skills. He's going to know how to box, and that's what we want to compete against, because we want to see where we're at.
The more I watch the tape, the more I like the matchup. You know, he is more of a slow-paced fighter, 1 or 2 shots at a time, like a sharpshooter type of guy.
You got a guy who's going to throw 1 punch and you can get 3 off, then you know there's a good opportunity to beat that guy.
He seemed to be someone who likes to move around the ring a lot. With someone that moves around as much as he did on the tape, just told me that I'm going to have to cut the ring off on him, you know, and control the ring, which I know how to do and everything. You know, Randy and Erik went over that pretty extensively with me, so I'm confident that I can do it.
The whole time that you're going through this process, you're trying to evaluate where your guy's at, where your fighter's at. Is he nervous? Is he losing it? Is he confident? Is he just no worries in the world? You kind of have to gauge it, and then you have to deal with him accordingly as a coach.
At every fight I'm nervous. I just don't really vocalize it too much.
I'm nervous as hell. Erik's nervous. I can read him pretty good, just like he can read me, and I can tell that the guy's nervous.
So what we did is we focused on what he does well, and moving forward in his combinations, and just got technical, and just worked on some technical things to get him doing things that he's successful at, and to succeed over and over on the mitts, even during the warm-up.
At that point, I'm pretty much just thinking about what I have to do. I'm trying to get focused, you know, not worry about anything else.
Once he starts hitting mitts, you know, he's getting control over his nerves, and he's channeling them. So now I'm seeing him starting to look confident, and I think he's ready to rock.
We're walking into the ring, and right before we're getting in there, you're looking, and your fate is literally in front of your face. There's a winner and there's a loser. One dude's going home, and the next dude you might be fighting sometime soon in this tournament.
All I'm thinking about is going, you know, just go and do it.
But when it first starts, it's like going 150 miles an hour.
The game plan going in is to make sure that we're backing the guy up and we're putting a lot of combinations on him.
This guy's having a hard time dealing with Phil's pressure.
I don't believe in good luck. I believe in good boxing.
This is it. You know, pick it up.
There wasn't no doubt in my mind that that kid was ready for this tournament.
You're going to see some national champions coming out of CNY boxing.